brainstorming ways to make it better together, you'll be able to help me. I don't know why a line is popping up. That's adorable. Okay, so why we're doing this event. Our purpose here is to facilitate a space for all of the members within our network to come together and to elevate their impact. We want to make an innovative space for connection, for togetherness, and also to introduce building blocks so that we can build future opportunities that are even stronger for all of our members. So we also wanted to make sure that we were centering all of the feedback that we got from last year's gathering in the design of this year's event. So some of the lessons that we had from last year was that people wanted even more collaboration, more networking, and events that were a little less intellectual technical and offered some more fun and optimistic things. Now, if you've taken a look at some of our events over the past couple of months, you'll know we're still offering technical events all the time that gives you a really broad range of things that we can help you learn or support you in getting outside expertise on. But with this event, we wanted to lean into that fun, optimistic, and high energy idea. So in order to achieve that, we've decided to turn the traditional conference style on its head. Those of you who are big conference junkies like me will be familiar with that traditional style where speakers come and they're great experts and they have lots of expertise in research or whatever it is. And you're sitting in an audience and someone's talking to you and you're trying to absorb all of this information. We're going to flip that on its head and instead host an unconference, which is a design that really centers you and your expertise and your opinions. And it lets everyone in the audience, all of our participants, which means all of our members, become the speakers and set the agenda for the day. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how this unconference model works. Attendees set the agenda by deciding on the topics that are going to guide the discussions throughout the day. You will be able to vote on what topics are going to take the stage at the event. And you can do that now, actually. I'll drop a link in just a minute to our online voting that's already been going on. And also you'll be able to vote live at the event day of. We're going to have 8 different tables. Each of those tables will have a topic assigned to them based on your votes. And for about 40-minute sessions, you'll be able to just go to whichever table you find most interesting and talk with people about the topic you find most interesting. You vote with your feet, you get to move around, and if you want to instead just chat with someone you haven't seen in a really long time, this conference model gives you the freedom to make this event what you want it to be and what's most helpful for you. I've included a couple links here of some other groups that have done unconferences in 2025. They're becoming more and more popular, especially for rooms where the participants are meant to be the experts, where you are showing up with your own expertise, with your own experiences that really should guide the day and guide the experience. So if you want to look more into what those unconferences were like, there's some things for you to research. Oh, and I think important there as well is that part about breaking down traditional power barriers. I think a lot of conferences that I've attended makes it really clear people who are in the audience are not the ones holding all of the expertise and the power, and often aren't the ones who are behind those closed doors of decision rooms, right? You're sort of listening to people who are making decisions. And this model instead allows you to be at the table with everyone equally. Thanks, Chris. So I just provided a couple of really quick images of how this will look. Again, I'm so sorry for the way that these slides have misformatted, but Chris, if it's okay with you, I'll send you some updated ones that maybe we can share out after FCAN Connect so people can see these. But as you'll see, there are different topics on each of the tables I have here: marine, solar, transportation, youth, grants, and floods. The idea is all of those would be the topics selected by you, voted on by you. What do you want to talk about? And as those discussions are going on, there are also people currently voting on what will be the next round of topics. Over here on the board, education, urban planning, justice, and AI seem to be the trending ones. That can change based on when more people come in and vote. And then the next round, if you'll skip to the next slide, those ones on the board for the next round that were the most popular, then take the tables and you're able to discuss them and really connect with people around that particular topic and then vote on new topics. So that's the idea of an unconference. Chris, if you click one more slide forward for me, I also wanted to include a little bit about how this serves you and our intent here. We want our attendees to feel really empowered and valued for their own perspective. We want to help make new connections. We want member impact to be boosted through collaboration and also to lay building blocks for future programs that we want to develop that really support you and your interests. We want to center the value of expertise that's already in Fife by not relying on outside speakers that we transport in. And we also want a unique event structure that puts you in a room with really energized people. So it's not sort of the, I've been sitting in a chair all day listening to people and I'm feeling a little tired. Instead, you're up, you're talking, you're moving, and hopefully that energy will allow you to have even better conversations. There are a couple additional components as well. We're going to invite some special guests onto the panel, and if you want to share your opinion on which guests we should invite, that's also in the voting link for topics for the unconference. The idea for these folks is they're going to bring in some expertise that maybe we don't have in the room, really highly scientific or research expertise. We're exclusively inviting speakers who are willing to attend the full day to participate alongside you. And then they're just going to be speaking at the end of the day in a closing panel and reflecting on the conversations they heard to sort of create a bookend and to be very participatory and Q&A. So those of you who do love a traditional conference model, I just wanted to give a nod to the fact that that panel will still be there for you. And if that's the way that you love to participate, where there's a small option where that's going to be a part of it. And then also working on building a member product like souvenir table or take home table. Chris, if you go back one slide for me. And that'll just sort of have a display of the different products that are made within our own membership that you can sort of have a souvenir to take home. We're shying away from all of the traditional branded content that you often see at conferences. You won't see us with a bunch of new pens or mugs for you to take home. This instead is what we're trying to center. What are our members creating? And what can you turn to in the future to shop within our membership so that your dollar helps support the climate action happening in Fife? And there's also going to be a short AGM run by our FCAN board, which is going to be really exciting and opens up the day. So I thought I'd just give you a super quick update of where we're at. I already mentioned date, I mentioned place. Also, I'm really excited to have a plant-based lunch that's catered by Tony of Greener Kirkcaldy. If you know Tony, you know that that is a real selling point to this event because he's fantastic. We already have 43 individuals registered, so we're about half full, and we still have a solid 7 weeks before the event. So that means if you haven't claimed your ticket yet, please do so really soon. We do have a certain amount of space that we can fill, and then the Adam Smith won't let me fill anymore. So make sure you claim your ticket early. We also already have 22 responses as of this morning. I shared a really quick screenshot. I know it's kind of tiny down there of where the voting is trending, but some of the hottest topics that people have voted on right now in the lead is capitalism compatible with sustainability, AI, the benefits and climate considerations, and selling a sustainable lifestyle choices. So I'm going to share a link in just a minute where you can hop in and vote on what topics you would want to talk about. You can also submit new topics. If you don't think any of the things that we have up there are what you want to be discussing, absolutely add in a new topic and people will vote on what you submitted. We're really excited about the way this event could bring out new topics and maybe surface something that wasn't on our radar that a lot of our membership want to discuss. I think those are all of my slides. Yeah, we'll see you there. Register, vote, and prepare by if you want to go to YouTube and look up what some other unconferences look like. Check it out. It's really fun, lots of energy. I will note that every unconference is planned a little bit differently. So I'll just give that caveat as you find some exciting ones. But if this is really a success in our group, then we'll be asking you some follow-up questions after the event of how we can keep incorporating all of these values and maybe even make it better next year. Chris, I wonder if we could cut the slides for a second. I see a lot of people with cameras off, audio off, which is totally fine. But if anyone has any interest in jumping in and telling me a little bit about how this strikes them, anything that made them, I don't know, excited, something you're thinking about, a topic you're surprised isn't included, I'd love to hear it. And then, as Chris mentioned, you can ask me questions in the Q&A later on as well. But thought I'd hold space just for a second. Any questions, any enthusiasms, any notes? Yay! Thanks, Joe. Joe has been my thought partner on this. We had a call recently, so I'm glad to see some enthusiasm there. Otherwise, I would have been heartbroken. Well,
Great. Jen,
I
we
got
have
one enthusiasm, and I'll
some
take it.
one enthusiasm in the chat. Amy says, I think the unconference format is really great. Thank you so much. The expert panel is to end on a reflection of the day is excellent.
Thank you so much, Amy. And again, if you have any ideas of someone who would be amazing on that panel that might not be on my radar, spoiler alert, you might have guessed from my accent. I don't know everyone who's incredible in Scotland who might be a great speaker here. Please either drop me an email or submit that anonymously in the chat. I'm vetting everyone who comes in through there and reaching out to invite them. So yeah, would love to hear everyone's opinions on who should be a part of that panel. Thanks so much, Mary. Yeah, have you gone to, I assume you've been to an unconference before. That's fantastic. If you want to reach out to me and be a thought partner on how we plan this from your experience, I would love to chat with you. But glad to hear that you're excited.
Yeah, and I've had experience in a different field to do with mental health, but I'm aware that these work well.
Amazing. And it sounds like Amy has also been to one. So we've got two people. Anyone else who's been to an unconference before? We've got Mary, we've got Amy. Okay, at least two. Awesome. Well, Mary and Amy, if either of you, I know I'm assuming you both are very busy people, but if either of you want to have a chat with me and lend some of your experience, tell me some of your favorite things that happened at the other conferences you went to. I'm happy to absorb even more into this event. So I'm always around if you want to chat. Thanks so much, Chris, for giving me the time, and I'll look forward to Q&A as well if anyone has any more questions for me about this event. And right now, I'll drop your registration link and also your voting link into the chat if you want to go in. And even if you've already voted, you can vote again. So feel free to participate.
Thank you so much, Jen. As I say, Jen and Juliet will be available for the Q&A just after Juliet's presentation. So if you do think of questions in the meantime, please do raise them then. In the meantime, we're so excited to welcome Juliet Dunstone from Community Energy Scotland to our event. So Juliet, the virtual floor is yours. Welcome.
Hello, hopefully I can successfully share the correct screen. Can people see the screen that I'm moving a mouse on now? Excellent. Yay, I haven't just shared all my personal emails with you. Where are my notes? There we go. Because of my kind of screen setup, I can no longer see any of you. So if you do kind of want to, if anyone has a kind of burning question, just jump in. I won't be able to see you if you have a hand up or anything. So yes, hello, my name is Juliet and I'm from Community Energy Scotland, and I'll be introducing the Community Energy Launchpad today, which is a project that we started last year. So just some background information about Community Energy Scotland. We are an independent member-led organisation and a charity, and we provide expert advice about community energy, and that can range from kind of practical technical advice about a renewable energy installation or, you know, solar panel or something like that, but also advice about community engagement. And because we have over 400 members, we also, and kind of across various projects, we may be able to connect you with other people within that network for kind of peer-to-peer learning or networking if you do have, you know, if you want to learn from someone who's gone through a similar process of setting up something to do with community energy. And we do also do some work in policy, working with the Scottish and UK governments to try and make energy policy work better for communities. So we have also submitted a response to that climate change plan that we were talking about earlier. And I have been scolded by our membership officer that I should have put information in here about how to become a member of Community Energy Scotland. It's totally free. So I will put that information in the chat afterwards because I forgot to put it in my slides because I'm very bad. The kind of point of community energy and our goals as an organisation is largely to increase the amount of energy that is in kind of community ownership in Scotland. One of the main reasons we do this, obviously, is to reduce carbon. Renewable energy and reducing energy use through kind of better insulated buildings, etc., do play a huge role in reducing Scotland's emissions, which obviously, as I'm sure all of you know, is really important. But community energy is also really beneficial to communities for a lot of other reasons. It puts the ownership of energy back into community hands, which is really empowering, and it can have massive financial benefits as well, whether that's just a reduction in energy bills. If you, for example, put a solar panel on a community building, it might be that you can earn some extra income as for in a community group if you're generating more energy than you use. Or it might be that if you, as a community group, go through the steps of, for example, taking on a share of a commercial wind development, you can have really huge financial rewards from those kind of things. And the other kind of more hidden benefit that's less kind of immediately obvious than the kind of energy saving benefits is that developing a community energy project can really help build that sense of community cohesion within a group, help people learn new skills or discover existing skills that they already had or that they didn't know existed within their community. And it really helps kind of gain some confidence as a community to take on a project. So if you come together as a community group to install a solar panel, that might make you realize that you've, as a group, got loads of amazing skills already in kind of developing a project, and make it more likely and easier that you might then take that next step to do a larger project for something else. The Community Energy Launchpad specifically is a project that launched last year in collaboration with Local Energy Scotland and the Developments Trust Association Scotland, and we're funded by the Scottish Government. And our goal is to give really direct support all across Scotland to community groups to help them kind of start on the journey of developing a community energy project. And really helping people to access the funding that already exists, that Scottish Government have available, and kind of help community groups work out what they need to do to apply for that funding, whether it's that they need to do, have advice from us on governance and how their group is kind of set up in order to receive finance, or whether it's to connect them with a mentor. So we have a mentoring scheme where other community groups who've done similar projects can help them. And also we can kind of help you literally kind of put together the application and figure out the technical advice that you need in order to get started with a community energy project. Our website is at the bottom there, but I will also put that in the chat so you're not having to write it down now. So I'm a community energy officer, that's my job role, and we've got members of community energy officers all over Scotland. My kind of rough geographical area that I cover is Fife, Edinburgh and the Borders, which is spread geographically quite thin, but there are 7 of us plus our manager, so 8 of us really, that are working all across Scotland. So there should be somebody available often to give you advice and support to a community group. And this is not an exhaustive summary of what we can offer, but we can offer advice on what renewable projects might be suitable for your community group. We can give you signposting to other relevant resources, other potential sources of funding. We can come and visit your building or your site and help you figure out what might work best if you are thinking about community energy. And we can help you complete those applications for the Scottish Government funding. So the main source of funding that we can help people apply for is I always forget what this acronym stands for, the Community and Renewable Energy Scheme funds. So we can, help just navigate that system, because it is this big online form, and help you figure out how to fill in that form to make it the most likely that you will be awarded that funding. Some examples specifically of what we can do. A lot of the work that I do is in community buildings. So it might be that there's a community-owned village hall, or a faith building, or a building owned by a charity. Lots of things are considered community buildings, and if you're in any doubt whether or not your building is eligible, then please do just get in touch. And I or one of my colleagues can come out to visit your building, have a look at it, figure out what might work best if you are thinking about renewable energy for that building, or making changes to a building to make it warmer or cheaper to run or greener. And usually all of those things will kind of come together. We can give advice about energy saving, we can give technical advice about what options might fit kind of within that building, and we have a technical team that can provide some more detailed support as well. And then again, we can provide advice and support about what funding streams might be most suitable for that type of building. The other kind of main area that we can offer support in is if you are thinking about taking on a larger project as a community group, such as doing like a larger energy generation project, like putting up a wind turbine if you've got some community-owned land, or thinking about if there is a commercial wind development being proposed in your area, and as a community group you would like to own a share of that development, that is something that we can also provide support in. We've got kind of access to some legal advice and technical experts that we can refer you to help you develop those ideas and figure out the best ways of kind of progressing along those slightly larger projects. And we can again provide advice around community engagement. We can help you run community engagement if that is something that you are wanting to do for a larger project. And there are also Scottish Government funds available where it's possible, for example, to hire a project manager to do a really much larger project, and we can help you kind of understand the processes of accessing that funding as well. The examples I've given are not kind of exhaustive of all the support that we can offer. So I will say if you have any questions about community energy, about the Launchpad project in specifically, or if you want to become a Community Energy Scotland member, please do get in touch. There's no questions too small. Like, we'd much rather you got in contact, and then even if our kind of support isn't exactly right for you, we can direct you to other people, because we kind of will have contacts that we can say, actually, this isn't where you need to be, but we will forward you on to somebody else. So yeah, please do get in touch. I can pop that email address in the chat as well, and that will go to our whole team, so we can make sure that you get directed to the most relevant person. And I will I stop sharing? How do I get back? But I will post those links that I said that I would in the chat if I can. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Juliet, for that inspiring presentation. Thank you again. Just a little note to say that we were recording that section of the meeting, but now we will stop